right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV. As it seems more and more often, it's just Monte, because no Pharaoh, we know he's gone, and I don't even want to discuss this weekend, but we might. We might get into it, but I kind of have a combination of two guests right here. I got cheerleader Melissa and the great Paul London, so thank you for joining us. So we had a great conversation, so we just might as well continue it. I usually do a little news items first, and maybe we'll get that, but we're talking about generations.
Yeah.
We were.
So let's start, before we identify what generations we all are, let's talk about the present generation in today's society. Melissa, what did we say they were?
Oh, we said there were a lot of things.
Well, yes. Yes, you're correct.
This can go any direction right now.
But what were they called? Oh, Generation Alpha.
No, they're not.
Why not?
I mean, but I'm just saying that's not. Are you working me? Or
it's Generation Alpha.
What's
is the
definition of Generation Alpha in terms of if you can give me the starting date?
Yeah,
of
what's
that,
the starting year?
I will give you that information.
What are the characteristics?
Like the loser I am, I took it down, but
what are the ambiguous characteristics of this generation?
Listen, before we start, there's no big words here. I've got Gorp the Grappler on the table. I don't even know what ambiguous means. All right.
Do you know what Gorp means?
Oh my God! All right, hold on. I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there.
Oh no! Not Paul checking the host.
I like your sponsorships.
What do you like?
How manly they are.
They're very manly. Are those spices?
This is spices,
yeah.
Listen,
okay.
We're easy here. We've got
look at the spices
hot
and
sauce,
wine.
Spices, wine.
Have you tried the hot sauce? Is it hot?
Yeah. Hence the word hot sauce. Yeah, I guess so.
Well, come on. Like, you've had hot sauce that you thought wasn't worth a piss, and people are like, I can't touch it. No, I can't. That'll ruin my day. And you're thinking, what?
I don't, as
we're
talking about generations, right, you can't really judge me because as you get older, everything gets harder.
So
right,
you're
like your tongue,
you're feeling a bit offended right now and just a bit victimized. And
I'm a little victimized.
Okay, so
in fact, I might fall. Okay,
well,
ready?
Being the alpha that you are, I mean, I imagine
that's not
generation.
Generation Alpha has not been officially categorized as a generation, but is known to have been born from 2012 on, and that seems fair.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really shitty movie.
All right, so that's what.
What, Generation Alpha?
No, 2012. Wasn't that what the End of the World movie with John Cusack or something? Or
I don't know if it was 2012. I don't know.
No, wait, what was it?
You want me to look that up too? It took me 5 hours just to find this.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
It was 2012.
Really? Oh, the one where it snows and the wolves are running around.
Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
That was awful.
It was John Cusack. Yeah.
Wow.
CGI wolves or some shit. Come on.
How many times did you watch that movie?
I don't think I've ever seen
Isn't that the day? I thought that was the day after or something. Was it 2012? It was like the day after, wasn't it?
Maybe Day After Tomorrow is the John Cusack one. 2012 is Jake Gyllenhaal and Dennis Quaid.
That's
maybe?
the same one, right?
No.
Isn't Quaid his father or something like
Yeah,
that?
but that's 2012.
That's 2012. Okay.
Yeah, and they hole up in like a library or something. And
Yeah.
they all like freeze.
And then the door gets open and like all of a sudden they get like some people get frozen, but they close the
yeah,
door and everybody's
yeah,
okay.
that's awesome. That's the best part.
Wow.
That and the CGI wolves. And then some executive was like, you know what? I think we need to remake. Was it Call of the Wild or White? What was that terrible?
I think you're pissing Melissa off right now. I think her husband might have worked on that movie. All right, you got to show a little bit of respect.
2012 with the Harrison Ford CGI wolves. Was that Call of the Wild or Wild? What?
I don't know,
What was
man.
the
I
Harrison
didn't
Ford?
think I'd ever find someone that found worse movies than I have. I don't even know what you're talking about right
As
now.
a descendant of Jack London, I was appalled
Wow.
at this reincarnation.
Are you a descendant of Jack London?
I am actually. He is, from what I understand, he was adopted, but.
Was that the
descendant
idea
of that
behind the
family.
gimmick? Like you were supposed to be some kind of wolf boy or something like that?
Me?
Yeah.
Wait, what, with the fur coat?
Paul London, Jack London. I'm figuring maybe it's like some kind of wolf
Where would
connotation.
Wolf, but he has other tall tales.
I'm shaking you up right now. Look, calm down.
You
It's
ain't
all right.
shaking
Yeah, you are.
nothing.
You're tripping over your words right
Look,
now.
Gen A, you're not doing anything. come on.
Gen
So that's
X.
the other issue I have with this Gen Alpha nonsense.
Let's go.
It's like
Go ahead.
Alpha seems like such a
Alpha, like
yeah,
strong.
but it's used in such a like a weak argument by people online, especially where they're like, "Oh, nice job, Beta," like implying that they're an alpha or
Right.
something. Like it's like that's an alpha move right there. It's so broy that it's like I would never say bro. I'm just gonna say
It's
brother.
giving fraternity vibes.
I'm gonna
Right.
say brother because to me that's more sincere than bro. Bro, you can say bro to somebody that you have an issue with. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing, brother, especially in pro wrestling, right? Brother is
Yeah,
like
everybody says
you're
that.
not- yeah,
Brother.
but either which way, I don't know. Alpha's like it's such an to me it's like such a UFC terminology kind of thing. Does that make any sense?
No,
It
but
feels very
no.
college-y to me.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
it though. It's
yeah.
super broy, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Hey, let's take our shirts off and like put some butter on our chest and like just fucking wrestle and see who can fucking just
like
survive.
Generation
yeah, let's do it.
douchebag.
Yeah. It's like man, these
That's
fucking
what it
shorts
is.
are
Generation douchebag.
these shorts are getting in the way. I'm gonna take my shorts off, guys. I suggest that too. Let's all do that. Yeah. Those are alphas.
I get it.
That's what I think of when I think of alphas. And guys are like, I'm fucking out. This fucking beta cooks.
But fuck it, I'm not gonna get a job though.
Yeah, fuck that
I'm
shit.
gonna work off the government.
Fuck that shit, man. I scooped ice cream for a whole
Man,
shift.
listen,
You
I don't
know
even
what
know.
You know what I'm gonna do, bro? I'm gonna quiet quit.
Oh, fuck. I'm so gonna quiet quit on them. I'm
Yeah.
gonna quiet quit all over their fucking faces.
Look, I'm a bit older than you guys, right? A
Way
bit.
older.
I get disturbed at what I watch on social media now. Like, I'm attracted to it, but I'm disturbed, right? Like, if you go on Twitter, there's something called, like, Fight Mate, and it's, like, people sending in people getting, like, destroyed on the streets, and I'm like...
I don't get
it's like, what...
Picking the fight?
So it's I guess people send in, like, you're having a fight with Melissa, right? And I'm some dude on the side of the street, and you're beating Melissa up, right? They don't jump in, and
So it's
Melissa's
staged.
bloody, and she's knocked out, and the person's still just kicking them
people
and doing
recording.
it, and they sit there and they're, whoa, dude, whoa, he's killing her, man.
Oh, so you're saying if that was really happening?
No, it's really happening. Like, it's on social media.
Okay, no, I'm confused. Is there a group that stages these fights?
No, it's not. It's from all over the world. Any fight, they send it into Fight Mate, and Fight Mate posts
Got
a
it, got it,
video.
got it, got it, got it.
okay.
So it's called Fight Mate.
Got it.
And, you
It's
cruise
like
into-
America's Funniest Home Videos, but it's
not funny.
yeah,
But
It's
well,
almost
not funny,
disturbing.
it depends on your but
Okay.
yeah, it's.
I really
It's not
didn't know this was
disturbing.
a thing.
It's X now, right? But I sit there and I go, has this been society forever and we just didn't see it because there was no social media? Or are we just this messed up that we think it's okay to watch people get pummeled to unconsciousness on the street?
I mean,
I don't know.
is it any different than the Roman Colosseum?
Yeah, but we're not in Rome anymore, man, right? It's like
No, but
it
I'm
was
saying
supposed to be a
the
better
human
society.
nature of.
Yeah, but those are paid events. I guess.
I
mean,
think
does
it's
that make
more
a
of a
difference?
status thing, But I'm not, because why are they recording this shit in the first place? So they can jack off to it later? Probably not, but some of them probably. But so they can post it and share it and all this stuff. So it still becomes, hey, I was there. It's still a status thing because they're still going to upload that and post that so they can get likes and
Attention.
in spiritual facials, right? So it's they're still it's a spectator thing, but there's a status involved with that.
Yeah, they posted to get a reaction.
I mean, how many people are like, well, how many followers do you have? That is like the most insignificant thing it means it's the absolute currency for so many people. It is the currency.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is filming this. I'm working because somehow this is actually going to put money in my pocket.
I'm working.
I'm in the office.
Dude, that reminds me
Someone
of someone
goes to
that
break it up. Hey!
That reminds me of someone that thought they were working for me this weekend. They were working. That's what they claimed was happening. They were working.
They got work.
I didn't think they were working. Well, they're gonna get worked, all right. But anyway,
Oh my god.
Does that make sense, though?
No,
You know,
it
from
makes
like
a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I guess my point to you is,
Think of the people who weren't at the Colosseum in Rome. Think of the people who weren't a part of that, which like the whole society would like that was the celebration, right? That's where everyone ascended to. But like, think of the people who weren't a part of that, like how much lesser they felt than the people who got to witness this stuff. You know. So I mean, again,
Fear of missing out.
if you're missing out, right?
but guy, like
First to know.
Here's the problem. I feel like, me personally, I don't know what the rules are anymore. There were rules because I'm from Generation X. We were taught rules,
The rules
right?
changed when cell phones and all.
But there are no rules. Like, you don't know what the rules are anymore about anything.
because they continuously change.
Yeah.
It's like what is that line in MacGruber where he's like the games, or he's like you know what I'm talking about? Where
I
he's
think
like,
so.
what did he say? He's like, I'm not in that game anymore. He's like, the game's changed, or he's like, but the rules are the same, or the rules have changed. It's something like
Right.
that. I've totally butchered it. Just fuck me, God. Anyways,
Well, they keep changing as
they do.
as technology evolves.
Yeah, they move the goalpost or whatever the fuck they
But
have to do.
does
right?
it form a better society? I mean, Melissa, right?
What are you?
You're married. You're married, right? I don't know if
Uh-huh.
you have children or if
No.
you plan on having children, but when you look at society as a whole now, do you think we're in a worse place and it's going to get worse? I don't know. You tell me.
I don't want it to. I don't want it to get worse. I mean, gosh, there's some bad areas, that's for sure, but I really don't want it to get worse. You know, I just and I try not to like be on social media so much and like surround myself with that cuz you know, I want to be in an area and in a neighborhood where I'm not like surrounded by that kind of drama all the time. You know, I don't want to this is a really hard subject to look at cuz I mean, you bring up so many good points.
Again, and you're in wrestling, right?
Yeah.
And you've got to be out there, right? And,
Yeah.
And you know, to be fair, and
Yeah.
again, attractive woman, you've got to kind of put yourself out there a little bit because you want to bring the fans into the wrestling, right?
Sure.
You know, you look really nice, and then Paul dresses up in wolf outfits, but there's a difference
What
that
is
goes
the
on.
wolf outfit?
Oh, poor Paul.
But I guess, you know, I guess my point I'm trying to say is, like, you know, where do we draw the line on these things, and then when does it become uncomfortable for you, right? I can only imagine what, you know, what fans say
Yeah.
on the positive and the negative. I mean, how does
Right.
that affect you? Because, like, again, there's no rules. Everybody feels like they can say anything to anybody.
That's true, and that's true. There are no rules. But a lot of times, I try not to. If I don't want to be surrounded with that, I just don't open the door for it. You know, I think one of like my pet peeves, you know, with a lot of people on social media or like wrestlers or even like some of my friends to begin with is that like when fans or mean fans do respond or do bash, they respond and fight back and they feel like they have to defend themselves. And I'm like, what are you defending yourself from? A person with 0 followers only for you to get a reaction? Like the fact that this, like nobody got a reaction out of, you know, somebody who's supposed to be a star and now, you know, and made their point. I mean, why, you know, like absolutely why? I mean, there's a mute button for a reason, you know.
Right.
There's a mute button, and just don't give anybody attention. When you give somebody attention, then it just kind of elevates them, and it elevates their online presence. You're only helping them in the bigger picture. So don't be a part of helping these losers that try to get a reaction out of you. You know, I think, you know, yeah, there are no rules, but you have to kind of set your own boundaries, you know, and kind of create your own space where you feel comfortable and, you know, feel comfortable in your standards or your morals and whatnot, you know. I mean, on, like, for example, like Twitter, like, if anybody, my favorite thing to do, obviously, not just the mute button, but if somebody is following me and wants to get mean, I will first block them and then unblock them and then mute them. Because what I don't like about Twitter is that when you block somebody, you can go to their account and you'll see that they're blocked. Or
Right.
yeah, you can see that they blocked you. And I absolutely hate that because then that's more attention. That's an opportunity for them to screenshot that, post that on social
Oh, that's
media,
right. Like,
and
oh, look who blocked me.
yeah, oh, ha ha ha, look who blocked me. But if you block them and unblock them, now they're no longer following you, and then you hit the mute button. So now you don't know.
Right.
Yeah, so now if they go to my page, they don't know that, you know what I mean? They would actually have to see that, oh,
I mean,
I'm not
but
following that person
at the
anymore.
same time, yeah, I blocked you. Fuck off. Like, I don't,
Yeah.
like, I could have blocked you because I saw that you bought your blue star and was like, you're a fucking nerd. Like,
Yeah.
block. Like, I don't know. Just, I don't know. Like, whatever mood I'm in, I don't know. I get in that mood. Like, when I go on this spree where I'm like, anybody who's bought their blue star,
Blue check mark
yeah,
is
but they have
blocked.
like 50 or like 3 follow. I'm like, nice job. Like, I don't know.
Block.
Hey,
Yeah, because
you blocked me.
I heard. Yeah, don't worry. That was a long time ago. That was before I even came on here. Actually, I should have been like, that was what I was just doing. No, I was looking for the quote and I
That
couldn't
would've been
find
pretty
it.
funny.
So I won't phone it up anymore. That was rude.
You should have asked a Gen Xer to find a quote for you. He would have found it for you.
Oh, yeah.
If you were in the Gen X,
Early 80s. Yeah. Come on. I
found
am. All right.
No, but
I
go
wanna
ahead.
claim it
Go
too,
back to the
Paul.
blocking.
I know. I want to claim it too.
We got it. We're good.
Yeah. I'm still
Don't
claiming
worry.
Gen X. I don't care.
So,
Melissa, I put in to the Gen X family. If you could come in, I just got the results. You're in.
get the fuck out of here.
Paul,
Oh, yes.
sorry. I put in 2 requests. You've still been bounced. I'm trying to do my best here.
You're a Gen Beta, dude.
I told you, man. I'm Gen old.
Gen,
I'm
dude,
Gen.
so
I'm Gen
yeah.
almost dead.
Haven't seen you in the octagon.
Listen,
See you
I'll
in
just
the
lay there like
coctagon.
the fat whale I am. I'll
Yeah.
be like, yeah. But you guys are funny.
So they don't want to work. No,
Wow.
Well, you know what? I don't think we could get banned for saying that. I mean, what is the
Well, no.
state of
Well,
what is
just-
the state of this country where we can't even get people to work anymore?
do you think it's like the excuse of like, well, I'm scared to be exposed to people right now? Like, does that excuse still fly?
The only excuse I would ever give anyone not to work is if someone said to them in a restaurant that they were having a $500 dinner, "Are you my friend?" If that person did that, I would definitely say, "I'm not working."
Who's to say what could happen to your
Exactly. I
restaurant?
mean, God forbid someone wants to be a friend, but that's okay.
Right,
It's all right.
right.
I get it.
Right.
Don't work if they want to be your friends,
Right.
but go ahead.
Wanted to make sure that
I
the
digress.
tab was paid for. Yeah, it's the whole thing's just it's a sticky situation.
You know, Melissa, that's what they call passive-aggressive comments. I like to use those every so often.
Yeah.
They don't know where you're coming from, but they know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Some other people go, I don't even know what the guy's talking about. It's good
Right.
stuff. But I do, and that's all it really
See, I'm
matters.
a fan of like.
I'm my one
indirect.
follower of me.
Yes.
I get my jokes, and that's all that really matters.
Hey, and I'm a big fan of indirect statements, indirect quotes, and just let people translate it however they want to.
No, absolutely. I totally
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Totally got it.
You can only lead a horse to the forest,
But you can't force them to
but then the forest must travel within the trees and look for a stream itself, and then teach itself to drink
Wasn't that from the movie
after distilling
1937?
the water. 2013.
Okay.
It's a sequel to 2012. It's a CGI horse, actually, and the forest is a green screen. Actually, I think they shot it here.
That's right. Right over there on that
Yeah.
green screen.
Yeah. No, that's
Hey, look,
sick.
like I told you, anyone could be anything. This could be a movie studio if
It
you want it
is,
to be.
yeah.
It could be.
Or you
Right.
could call it a hole in the wall with some foam on the walls or something, or whatever you want to call it.
I mean, that's sick. I like foam.
Yeah,
You know,
clearly that's a good thing.
I think.
All right, so here we go. The country, what can fix this country?
Love.
Smilex.
Smilex.
Smilex. What is that?
Smilex. From Batman.
No, I
Isn't
don't
that
know.
The Joker, like putting all the chemicals.
Oh, is that what that was called? Smilex?
I think so.
Damn.
Smilex. I think
Smilex.
Yeah,
I'm going to have
right?
to figure that out.
Am I?
No, Smilex is for your Smilex was the
that?
Joker's code name for the poison that left. Damn, dude, that's pretty good. Wow.
Did I just
You're
admit
loaded
to
with movie references.
plotting a genocide?
I think you might have just. I think that's what you. That was a passive aggressive comment, I guess. You did just say that. Wow.
Do you know what the Joker's based on? Let's change the subject.
Wow.
While staying in the same ballpark.
I think this channel just got shut down. Good job. You did it.
Oh
You
my
found
God.
the hole. You found the loophole.
What was that conversation earlier? What not to say, what not to get canceled on, things not to say to keep us on the
Oh,
air.
come on. I'm harmless.
I don't
So
know.
Melissa, let me ask
Club
you
D.
this: your husband
fat.
is in an area where it takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of skill. What are his thoughts that now everybody thinks they could do what he does? Right? He's probably done this for a long time. He's gotten really solid training at it, and now
Are you talking about my husband?
yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What is his feelings about like now that everybody else thinks they could do what he does? I'm assuming, right?
Gosh, I don't know if I had this conversation right now. I mean, have this conversation with him. I mean, with the industry that he's in, we're happy that the strike is over
Yeah.
because that affected a lot. That affected a lot of people like what he does in the business. Stuff wasn't getting produced, and there's a lot of people out of work or not making any money right now. It was just affecting all these other companies associated with the movie industry, like what he does, like in Vision Media. I was telling earlier, Vision Media they're like a business to business, basically video online
That's
distribution. So anybody, if you ever received movies to vote on, like for award season or the Oscars or something like that, companies hire Vision Media to send out to distribute.
No kidding.
Yeah, to distribute movies to
Yeah,
everybody with
I've watched those
credentials.
before.
Yeah, so you probably received content
Yeah.
from my husband's company.
That's cool.
if
That's
you ever
really
voted
cool.
on any of that.
Yeah,
So
the screeners.
yeah, the screeners.
Yeah.
Yeah, or screener awards and stuff like that. So no, yeah, we're
That's
happy the
so
strikes
cool.
are over. So things should be looking a little bit better now.
Do you think like like I always question that type of thing too, right? It's like it was an actor strike, right, and a writer strike.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I kind of have a problem when like actors go on strike or baseball players go on strike or football. Like, I mean, let's bring it to wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have some of the older guys in here, and then we're having a conversation like with the Nasty Boys about GoFundMe pages, for example. There's a million GoFundMe pages, and I'm not trying to be rude, but like when I see like a famous pro wrestler who made millions their entire life, all of a sudden gets of age and something happens, and they're plugging out a GoFundMe page to pay for, I guess I personally have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what are you guys' thoughts about that? Like, actors going on strikes, GoFundMe pages, things like that.
Gosh, I mean, I feel like that can go a million directions, and it just depends on. I think it just kind of depends on the situation. I see
a couple thousand directions.
Yeah,
Go
a couple
those.
thousand for sure. I mean, I think about, who's that kid from, Breaking Bad? He was just like in support of like the strike and like felt like he need to make more money, but he made like $500,000 an episode, and yet he felt like he needed to make more off of like the streaming content. Now the shows are going to streaming, and they felt like it's just like, dude, you made $500,000 an episode. Like why? I mean, I see what you mean. I'm definitely more sympathetic to the ones, the workers that are like not in that position to, if they need a little bit of help with a.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the healthiest thing that can come out of it, aside from ramifications, working conditions, whatever that agreement ultimately is. But I think, not to sound too corny, the healthiest thing of all of it is the unification amongst the artists, because I think when you take an A-lister and an A-plus lister, in a sense, that some could consider. Is it Aaron Paul? Is that who you're talking about?
I think so,
Um, well, it speaks to his character as well that he's not going to sit there and think like, well, I got my money, like, sucks for you guys down
Right.
there. He's like, no, like, I've been there. Like, I know that sucks, and I get what these guys are in the trenches, because if there's one misconception about actors that should be obvious, it's that, and it's similar to wrestlers. It's like, no matter what, if you've been on TV in any realm, I mean, I'm not talking about, I mean, in some trailer parks, maybe even you'll think if you see someone as a background actor, like, just on TV, like, there's something about the weird screen, this magic screen, right? If they appear on there, then, like, they're rich, or they're successful,
Right.
or they're, and it's like, it couldn't be further from the truth.
But I mean,
Because, like, the percentage of actors that actually make a living acting,
right.
I think it goes back to the actual contracts, though, like the actual,
yeah, no, I
the
agree.
actual,
I
the
agree.
agreements right from the get-go.
But the great comment you guys made, right? That the high level actor unified with the lower level actor, and so unification was
Right.
something to be proud of. So now I'll roll into something like so. Why aren't wrestlers like that? Because there would have been opportunities, I'm assuming, at some point within these generations that you could all bonded together and
Well, you've
unionize
heard-
instead of
you've-
being an
you've
independent
heard
contractor.
The Jesse Ventura stuff. Have you heard that? Like,
Well, yeah, of course,
Okay.
but and I'm sure it was tried afterwards. But why do you think wrestlers can't seem to get their act together and unify or become unionized?
I mean, that's a great question. I think you're working in different conditions, where on, say, a production, unless it's, and I'm not too sure if the stagehands, I would imagine. See, so like when WWE travels, they hire out local stagehands they're part of a union, I would imagine, right?
Mhm,
Those
yep.
local stagehands. Okay,
Yes.
so like they're part of that. The actual employees, they're taken care of, right? It's really down to really just the wrestlers, the cattle that are the supposed, what's it called, independent contractor.
Mhm.
Can't work for anybody else, but you're an independent contractor.
Yeah,
Right. So,
right.
we want your first, second, and third born, but you're an independent contractor. So
You work for us, so you
the
get no
whole-
health benefits, but you're
Yeah.
an independent contractor.
it's a nasty circus. I mean, it's a nasty circus, and we're the animals, and there's nothing else like it. And you get that. It's not a bug. It's I mean, it's a disease.
Elaborate a little more. What's the disease?
the love. That's
So
the
once you
disease.
taste it, you just can't get away from it.
Yeah. You can take the wrestler out of the ring, but you can't take.
Can't take the wrestler out of the wrestler.
You can't take the ring out of the wrestler.
Well, I totally get it. I totally get it. Let's speak more about you guys as wrestlers. As a wrestling fan, you look at the wrestlers and you have your families, right? Your
Mhm.
outside families where life is a struggle there, and then you have your inside families. How do you deal with all the trials and tribulations, deaths, backstabbing, pressure of being a wrestler? I mean, I'm hitting you with a really
No, it's
blanket
good.
statement because there's so much. Like on Melissa's end, being a female is got its whole pile, and Paul, You, on the other hand, right? What does a wrestler go through? Maybe is the better question, so the fans really understand. So, and I'm going to hand it right back to you guys. As a fan, I look at you guys. I said, these guys are our heroes. They're very talented. I love everything about them. But let's not get crazy. They hit the ring for 10 minutes, and then they're traveling, and they live this blessed life. Straighten me out.
Straighten you out.
You need straightening.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You're one bent son of a gun.
I mean, it's a balance. It's a balance. It's a juggling act. Especially being away from our families long periods of time. I can think of one hard time where I was in Japan for several months, and I had family members pass away, and and it's difficult not to be there and to support the other family members that need help with getting their lives back together, after a loved one goes away. And anybody that's, ever lost someone and had to been basically, responsible for that person's life post-death, can certainly understand how traumatic and how much drama that brings to the table, and how deaths in the family can certainly tear families apart. And to experience that, while not even being in the country, it's hard. It brings like a lot of stress, and then there's the juggling act of not letting that interfere with your work. You just have so much heavy stuff personally, and now you have to try to like get it together, and on top of that, maintain your image and maintain body and maintain a diet. When the first thing I would want to do is go to a bar and like, drink my pain away.
Yeah.
Just drink my pain away, and like, that's not, you got to kind of get it together. Like, that's not an option right now. You have a job to do, and, it's just, I think over time, as you become a adult, you learn and grow on how to get better at managing your emotions and your feelings. And Paul and I had this conversation earlier of just like not letting emotions and anger get the best of ourselves, and letting our emotions and anger make poor decisions for ourselves that could affect us financially. It's we get better as adults, or we try to. But it's really tough. I would say, that's an example for me when just things got really complicated on so many different levels, where I felt like I was juggling my life in another country and then helping my family juggle their new life without our loved ones, So.
Well said.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a great question, because people tend to want to keep the sheen over the I can't even call it glamour, but the TV wrestling sheen that kind of stays over it. Like, people like to stay on that in terms of interviews, and so you asking a question like that, especially with you being able to hide behind sunglasses.
Well, I'm really crying behind these
I
sunglasses.
can tell. No, that's why you have the beard.
I'm
it's
gonna
a sponge.
I'm going to walk out of this interview, and I'm gonna
I
go
just
sit
hope
outside.
you'll still talk to me. And yeah,
if you kneel down and say you're sorry, yes, I would definitely maybe think about it.
It's kind of it's related to that disease that I was talking about, in that it I don't know. God, I'm getting nerdy. Like, what is that thing that Venom is like a symbiote or something? It like gets in them and then it takes over,
Yeah.
right? That's probably a more accurate description. And the longer you're in it, and the deeper you get into it, and the more that you see, now it's starting to sound like the skulls or something. Um, the the more you the more you witness things that you know, and I'm sure Melissa can vouch for me. Where it's like, you, there's no way you could make this stuff up. The stuff that you see, you know, to quote Joaquin Phoenix's character in 8mm, you see things that you can't unsee. You know,
Yeah.
and you witness things that you can't erase. And so for someone who's not experiencing something similar on a similar track, that's a real tough cookie to swallow and to eat, right? Because as a partner, it's not going to work if there's not trust. Like just like any relationship, really.
Mhm.
But when you compound that with time away, travel, mental, just like, I don't want any noise right now. I'm not upset. I'm not angry. I just don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to hear anyone talk. I don't want the TV on. I'm going to go for a walk. My phone's in my pocket. I'm not looking at it because I'm in the moment, wherever I am, to just clear my head.
Mm-hmm.
That ends up sounding more and more like some sort of bullshit excuse, right? And it's like, can you not comprehend that that's from my own, like, that's for me. Like, that, I need that. Or I will, like, or it's not going to be pretty. Like, I don't know, you know, like, because you only have so much of a physical and an emotional, like, mental battery, you know, and if you're not recharging that in some way, it's going to conk out and you're fucked.
Absolutely.
You're fucked.
Absolutely.
Right? And so much of that emotional battery is dealing with, and I don't mean dealing with like, but just having to continue your communication with people back at home or across the country or in other parts of the world, or business partner or family or whatever. Like, I lost my grandmother when I was in Japan as well, and she was my dearest relative. I loved her to death, and she passed away, and they had a
Sorry to
funeral and
hear
everything
that.
when I was in Japan. I'm sorry for
Yeah.
yours as well. But that, you know, and so it's just like, there's no other real path like it, you know. So, but also, I mean, I was an actor before I was ever a wrestler. So, just as being a performer and telling stories with your emotions and with your behavior, and with all these things, and just really living experiences, right? Because as an actor, you want as many experiences as you can get, because then your color palette is much more broad than the person who shuns away from experiences, right? And doesn't want to go out and doesn't want to experience some things, and like, oh, I don't want to try that. Like, I was like, well, what the fuck are you ever gonna draw from?
Right.
Right? You're a very shallow well, right? And so,
Can't
I
go.
relish. I hate sleeping because I feel like I'm missing out on something. Whatever it might be, it could even just be an idea of something I need to start working on or writing or creating or something. I don't know, right? And that might take 5 years for that even to culminate, right? But it's still, the factory never closes. Whatever the factory is the factory's a bad, but the workshop never
Gotcha,
closes. It never shuts off. You know, and so like that's hard to process too, right? Like, why did you go to sleep at like 5 in the morning? Because I just couldn't, right? You want me to take something, like I'm not going to, right? I'm not. I might have some herbal essence, but you know, you find what works for you, right? People do yoga, people do knitting, people bake, people I don't know, whatever they find. But you find something, love something else. Because if this is the only thing you love, it's I mean that is a one-way bullet train. At some point, it's gonna crash. It's gonna crash, and that's what so many people who just, you know, not to put down the working person, because like, look, I mean, I delivered packages for fucking Amazon
Mhm.
2 summers ago in 110-degree heat in Texas. I'm not above work. I'm just extremely lucky that I dedicated myself to something that I can still use, and that I took care of my body enough to still be able to do this at the age that I am. I won't say what that is.
No,
but,
there's definitely
you
like
know, and so it's just a never-ending commitment, never-ending
Right.
dedication. It's the only way it's going to happen. It's the only way. So that's how you can really tell who wants this for the right reasons, who gets in it because they want to up their social media numbers, or they want to up their OnlyFans account, or they want to up their fucking Amazon wish list because they're too cheap to buy bed sheets. You know, whatever the fuck it is. Like, they're in it for just some bullshit reason, right?
But listening to you, I'm kind of torn. Like, you're deep, and by the way, you're Gen X. Like you got your
Thank
act
you.
together.
Thank you.
But
I had to do all that.
all that for Gen X.
All that just for Gen
Unbelievable.
X.
But
Good job,
I'm
Paul.
watching
Oh, thank
you,
you.
and I'm thinking, I wonder if he wishes, if he went back in time, would he have become a professional wrestler again? And I'm trying to figure that in my head as you're speaking. I'm like, he would or he wouldn't. Like, you got all this stuff going inside of you. I mean, would you, if you could start over again, would you have done the professional wrestling gig, or you would have went? Clearly, you're both artists, right? My former partner was an artist. I can't do anything. I can't sing, dance, or anything.
Oh, come on.
Would you do it again?
You
Actually,
know-
both of you. I'll ask that question
Jeez.
too.
I don't know. Do you want to please? You want
I
to?
don't. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I think I would. I think I might have, if I were to do it again, though, I would have done more stuff outside of wrestling. I think I was on like when Paul was saying like on that bullet train. I think I would still do wrestling, but I would like to just take on other experience in other roles or other jobs and broaden myself out that way. But that hit home when you were saying like on the one-way
Yeah.
bullet train.
Well, here's the thing with that too, though. When you're thinking, I had this great acting coach one time, and he used to always say, "It's never too late to tell yourself a new story," and like, you've reinvented yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to, or we don't. We don't have to, but I think that's something that, like, as anyone with an artistic spirit. I mean, my mom's an artist. She's a painter. She's been a painter as long as I've grown up. I can smell, all her different paints. I mean, it's just what I grew up in, and my father was an attorney. So, but so I feel like it's, that anything that has any kind of artistic nature to it naturally feels the need to reinvent itself. It's just natural. It's as nature is supposed to be. So it's never too late. I don't care what age anyone is out there. It's never too late to tell yourself a new story. And the words that we tell ourselves, and I'm the biggest hypocrite for this because I am my biggest detractor or whatever. I'm vicious to myself. But the words are just we have to tell ourselves different stuff, and try to find, it's good to carry around like a thesaurus, because if you tend to find yourself with a lot of like really negative words, you know what I mean, like can't and won't and don't and never and fail and and all this stuff, and it's like I failed to do this, I failed to do this, and like you just start to kind of like shift your verbiage and find a different way, and like like I was unable to do this at the moment, you know what I mean? That's something that can still be accomplished, as opposed to just like fail. That's the stamp, right? So you find a different shift in how you talk to yourself, and that'll add longevity to your, at least to your mental state, because otherwise you get so much criticism just from all this voiceless, faceless, or voiceless to me, but faceless people on social media, right? Social media, in my estimation, should be used as a tool to promote stuff. The second you want to get out there hoping to get, it sounds terrible, but the second you get out there hoping to make, and we've all made friends through social media, because it just happens. You meet people with common interests, and it's just, it is what it is. It's a big social community, right? But when you get on there and you start like really hoping for it to be in a way your psychiatrist or your psychologist, psychiatrists can prescribe drugs, right? Okay, so not that one. When you use social media to be your shrink, pretty much, you're fucked. You're fucked. You're so fucked. You're so fucked you don't even know it. You're so fucked. Because you are now then putting all of your soul, your emotions, you're putting it all out there, and you're giving it away to just this faceless void of voices, right? Everyone has a voice. Even the fucking robot accounts have voices. Damn. And so when you put all your juice into that, it becomes the crudest oil.
It's a bad idea. It's
yeah.
a bad idea.
And,
you're saying that, I'm like, why would anybody do that?
Nothing's
That's
got
such a
to
bad
be worse
idea.
too if that's what you're throwing it all into, and you said you want something back, right? And then you get nothing back, or you don't get back what you're expecting.
You're expecting.
It's destroy you.
Yeah, you're opening
you still
up the
have to
door.
go pick up your kids from school, or you still have to go. Usually, it's date night, or you still have to go pick up. Go visit your nan in the home, or whatever. Do grocery shopping for your mom, whatever it is, right? Go pick your dad up at the Y. I don't know, but now you're in this fucking mood. You're this pallor over you. It's all ruined. Your fucking life is over. It's fucking over.
Yeah.
Because Pubic Basketball 24/9 said that you look overweight and you don't work the way you used to,
right,
and I that's why I don't sleep. I have to admit, that's why I hate. I can't sleep. I just can't sleep at night. I can't take it. I'm reading all these fucking comments. Please, this is my plea to all you gazillion endless voices out there. Just stop, please.
My God.
You can't be so cruel. Leave me and Britney alone, for crying out loud.
Britney alone.
God.
Yeah, but if you mess with Taylor Swift, man, she's got an army bigger than the China.
Can Taylor
to
Swift
destroy you?
Can Taylor Swift fucking swing some Ginsus? I think not.
Taylor Swift should just ask for world peace, and everything will stop.
She should.
The
You just
war in
answered
Israel,
your own
everything.
question from earlier.
Her and
What do we
Beyonce.
need to do to get out of this mess?
Taylor,
Just
please
anoint Taylor Swift president.
stop the war.
Yeah,
And just there. Yeah.
That's right.
Wow.
First female president.
All right, guys.
I couldn't name you a single Taylor Swift song. Is that bad?
She
No,
really
it's
become
not. No,
president,
it's not
though.
bad. In fact,
She's
I couldn't
blonde.
either.
I know that much.
Yeah.
She's white and blonde.
And she's dating a football player.
Is she Australian?
I don't think so.
I don't
she's
even fucking
I think
know.
she's. No, I don't think so.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
All I know
That's-
is that she went to the Jet game and the
maybe
refs had to
that's
throw the
Sia.
game because she was there voting for the Chiefs or whatever she was doing.
Sia definitely is Australian. I don't think maybe Taylor Swift was like Kentucky girls.
You're too
Okay.
funny. Question to both of you: in professional wrestling, what was the most important thing that you felt you accomplished in your career? And not that it's over for either one of you, but at this present day.
Gosh, you ask some deep
I know.
questions.
You know?
Yeah.
You know,
wow.
Do you want to be my friend, Melissa?
Absolutely.
Oh, thank God. You see, was that so hard?
That's so hard.
Was that hard? How about you, Paul? You want to be my friend?
Not Paul looking into space.
Wow.
Will you let him know I'm not talking to him? I will.
Okay.
Wow.
Is that
I
all?
will,
Is
I
that,
will only talk with Abraham.
is that all that you want me to tell him? That's it?
Yeah.
Paul's not talking to you.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
He only wants to talk to Abraham.
All right, Abe. Abe, can you ask Paul if he wants to be my friend?
Paul, do you want to be his friend?
Okay, is Abe allowed to talk back?
Yeah, Abe's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess he did officially know me Gen X.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess
See?
I had a moment there. I'm sorry. Let Abraham know that we're friends again.
Abe, could you do me a favor and let him know that they're friends now?
Hey, Mike, just letting you know, you and Paul are friends again.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That means I'm not going to do an Instagram video about Paul later on. So you're free. You're okay now.
Likewise.
I wasn't going
That's
to
what
dance in
friends
front of the
do.
camera, take my shirt
No.
off, and make you sick.
Well, I mean, would we really be friends if we didn't trash each other on social media?
No.
What
No.
was the question again, though?
What was our biggest accomplishment?
Oh, right.
After we went through that whole gimmick.
This interview.
This interview. I
mean,
think,
yeah, that's
I
just
mean,
a
I
broad
like who
question.
I've become today. I think that's very important. I think my journey and my story, I feel really good about the person I've become today. I've really found a lot of fulfillment in helping students make accomplishments in pro wrestling. That's brought me a lot of joy, because nobody wants to have their time or what people bring to the table. Nobody wants to have that wasted to to other potential students that don't care, or when you give advice, when you give life advice, and you don't want to be taken for granted or anything. So, I have like my core little group of students in Las Vegas, and I helped one of them, get signed to Impact. And my happiest story that brought me a lot of joy was Zoe Stark on WWE.
Wow.
And I love talent. I mean, that story was just so interesting because, if I ever had an opportunity to tell my younger self what to do, basically give them the cheat code, like Zoe Stark was it for me. She was so easy to help because she was literally like a younger version of myself. She was cheerleader Melissa 1.0, and like when I met her. And like the story was so crazy at the time because I would see her train, and I'm thinking like, oh my God, like she's like very solid in the ring. And then I found out her husband is Tom Howard, and
Yeah,
Tom.
I love Tom.
Yeah, Tom. Who doesn't love Tom?
God.
Everybody loves Tom,
Tom's
right?
awesome.
Tom
God.
Howard, UPW,
I love
and
Tom.
and Tom. we all got stories with Tom. Yes. All right. So, yeah, and when I found out like Tom was like her husband, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to be friends with this girl because I mean, if Tom is so cool, then he's definitely probably got like a cool chick or whatever. And then, so then at the time, I think it was like kind of pre-pandemic. One of my best friends, Awesome Kong, was with AEW at the time, and she was in a position to start bringing up talent or to do something. And I actually like pitched a couple of girls at first, and she's like, no, I'd rather have someone who's like not really like known right now. I want to like create my own stars. And same thing, I was just like, well, hey, like there's this girl that trains, she's really good, but not television. It's a whole wrestling for TV and just wrestling is two totally separate beasts. And she was really good wrestling, but you could tell that she's had zero TV training at the time. And I was just like, oh, well, there's this girl. She's Tom Howard's wife, and same thing. She's like, oh my God, Tom Howard! Oh my God, Tom Howard! Let's do that! Tom Howard! And I'm like, okay.
Tom did that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. She's just like, I love Tom. Oh my God. I'm like, the same thing you just did. Who doesn't love Tom? And I was like, well, yeah. I was like, and Zoe didn't like know this, but like I like found some of her footage and sent it to her, and I'm just like, just watch this girl. And she's like, okay, I like her. So got them connected. She's like, okay, really great attitude. Melissa, I need you to do me a favor. I need you. She's like, I'm gonna try to get her signed to AEW, but I need you to train her for TV. I was just like, okay, and I'll do anything. Like, Awesome Kong, like, we'll do anything for each other. I was just like, okay, not a problem. And so I go and introduce myself to her and like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we want to try to do. So we spent a lot of time, like, just kind of, from her gear, she had like really like basic gear. I had to like update her on her gear. I had to teach her about presence, had to teach her about like a ring entrance. People don't understand like how important ring entrance is. So I'm like, that basically starts the story when you come out, just how to wrestle for television, how to wrestle for the hard camera, how to sell. That was the only thing, like, I had to like adjust her a little bit, was like her selling, because Tom Howard trainer, so of course she's selling like Andre the Giant for a minute there, and I'm like, girl, you are not Andre. You are not Andre, dude.
You make the other person look good.
Like you. You can't. Just
Another match is a squash match.
Right. So spent a lot of time, and then the pandemic hit, and that was rough because I took quarantine very seriously. So she would still go to training and send me footage, and time was going by, and AEW just wasn't listening to Kia. She was calling people directly, say, hey, you need to hire this girl right now. And
really?
And they just wouldn't. Her voice wasn't really being heard, and it was getting really frustrating. So at a time where we kind of felt a little hopeless, we had a game plan, and the game plan was, okay, let's create some buzz around her. We know Shimmer's running a show during the Collective, one of the Collective shows they run.
Oh, right.
And I'm always on every single Shimmer show, but I wasn't going to be because I was taking quarantine seriously. So, that's when, I reached out to my friend Allison Danger, who's also, we're both really good friends with Dave, and kind of told her what was going on. Like, hey, listen, like, need you to help me with her, and if I'm not going to be on the Shimmer show, that means there's a spot open, and Zoe Stark, her name wasn't Zoe at the time, and she needs to have my spot. If there is a spot available, and this girl's going to take my spot. And then, fast forward, long story short, the Collective happens, and a WWE talent scout came and offered her a tryout. And so it worked. Our plan worked. Oh, because the plan was to create a lot of buzz around her from the Shimmer show, which is what we did. But then a talent scout came in from WWE, gave her a tryout, which was great, because that's when I said the cheat codes to life, because I have failed enough tryouts to know exactly what they're looking for. So I was like, listen, I failed at all of these tryouts. Let me tell you exactly what to do. This is what you need to do. This is what you need to work on. Wow. This week, work on this. You're okay in this. So it was like a 2-week like cramp, prep training for her tryout, and she nailed it and got signed, and she's been killing it ever since. But it just feels really good. That her journey getting signed was probably one of my best fulfilling moments. I wish I could say it was like other things that I've done, but just taking all of my past knowledge and helping someone who truly deserved it.
But it kind of shows the
so
person you are,
fulfilling.
because you could have chosen different things, but you chose how you helped another individual be successful. It's pretty impressive stuff, man. It's pretty good.
It was so fulfilling. Like, it made me so happy, and like she did me proud. But but the whole journey, it just felt so good, and especially, if you have a lot of like valuable knowledge, you don't want that wasted, and you don't want anybody to waste your time. And it sucks whenever you feel that way. And she never ever made me feel that way. And she was really, persistent and always, I had the door open for her. She called me and texted me anytime she wants. She would send me footage and I'd basically critique it. Again, like all of my critiques were television style, because I knew at the time that was like her weak point. But I mean, I just how she took the ball and like ran with it. It just made me feel really good. And it was so satisfying for Awesome Kong when WWE picked her up because she was just like, I was right. I was right. She felt so good to go back and be like, I told you so.
Right.
I told you so. I told you, and I told you, and I told you to call her and sign her right now, and you did it. And WWE's got her now. So you fucked up.
Oh wait, hold on,
Yeah.
wait, AEW. Wait, so there was a lot. So there's a experienced veteran or a respected experienced veteran, and they didn't listen to that experienced veteran.
No, right.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
that's so.
Right?
That
Yeah.
seems so like not
She's
like
just-
them.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
It was the validation Awesome Kong needed when she got signed. It was the validation she needed. She's just like, I'm not crazy. I know I'm not crazy. I know talent. I knew there was something with this girl. I know I'm not crazy. So it was very fulfilling for me, but I think it was probably the most satisfying with her, for her to just be like, fuck you. She was like, I knew
Now,
it.
was she wrestling against Rhea Ripley Survivor Series, right?
Oh my gosh.
That's how amazing is that?
It's amazing. I mean, when she got signed, it kind of felt like my kid was kind of going off to college, and it was just like, I want to keep helping you, but like you're kind of getting to the point where like I'm not going to be in that position anymore, And it was just like,
What a great story.
come back. But no, I need her to keep going and keep doing her thing and making sure that she surrounds herself with, the right people. And same thing, I gave her the speech, don't let your emotions make your decisions.
And she may not be your last. I mean, there might be other. Right? You
No,
never
there
know,
was
right?
I helped another student, Jay Vidal, get signed to Impact.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and he's doing. And we talk all the time. Actually, we still train together once a week, and our training consists of. Our training may be 2 hours, but the first hour is just like this. It's talking, it's venting,
interesting. Okay.
it's
Yeah.
venting, it's having a conversation, and it's kind of hitting the reset button on his mindset, because
Yeah.
it's very easy for people to be frustrated with either certain individuals or the position that they're in at the time. It may not be
Yeah.
the ideal position they want to be in, or
You bring some outside bullshit into the ring.
yeah,
and,
outside BS.
it's-
So it's basically my training with Jay is like the first hour is kind of a therapy session and
Yeah.
get his head back in the game. And then we work out, do some stuff, and do a bunch of cardio. And then when we leave, we kind of like, okay, here's our next game plan. This is what I want you to do. Here's some stuff I want you to write out, and let's have a new approach. And that way you kind of go back into work having a different mindset instead of a frustrated mindset.
Wow, good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're out of time.
Oh,
Incredible,
No.
both of you, incredible. I want to thank you for taking the time. Wish I got to see you guys at the big event more, but By the way, how did you guys like the big event?
It was big.
Yeah, it was
And
big.
an event.
So big, and it was an event.
I mean,
Wow,
I didn't even.
that's
very
a good
spacious.
I
answer.
didn't even make it to the other side. Like, one of my good friends, Rene Dupree, like the Resistance reunion was at the table, kind of in the middle section of the whole thing, facing us. But that was the farthest I got. Was just walking to like the midway point and back. Like I didn't get to even go to the other side. The huge Rhea Ripley line was like kind of blocking our table for the most part, because it just like started to go around the track, and so.
But how does it feel for both of you to be so beloved still after as time keeps going on, that all these fans still remember you and believe
I
It's
you?
got
humbling.
mugged.
You got what?
I got mugged. They hate me. No, I'm just kidding.
What? Okay.
I was about to say,
It's
what?
like, who mugged you? Like, you were
I got stabbed.
behind
I was-
the
yeah.
table beside me the whole time.
And you still
Who
made it to the
mugged
interview. You got
Actually,
stabbed
I
and you're
did
still
that.
here.
That's why I was late. I just did- yeah.
Patching up.
That would
I
happen
got
to you,
away.
though.
Yeah, but they clothed me.
Sometimes I wonder how you have not been kidnapped.
Ah.
You Yeah.
I just opened my mouth, and they're like, "Actually, we don't want this guy. Kick him out of the band."
Yeah, they're just like, oh, we got him.
Yeah.
Wait a minute,
Oh,
wrong.
fuck. Yeah. I'm
Kind of
like, "This is
reminds
all
me of
you
someone I
got."
flew to New York. I was like, yeah, no, send it back.
Yeah, yeah. This one's from Texas.
Go back, please.
Yeah.
I want to thank you guys. Incredible, huge fans. Thank you for what you've done for the industry. Thank you for everything, and I wish you all the best. This has been Mike Monte for Monte The Pharaoh. We'll see you, I guess, in another 15 minutes
Thank
where
you,
we got
Bonnie.
downtown Bruno.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you soon, guys. Thank you for joining us on Sunday.